What's tafsir and what's ta'wil? Do they mean the same thing or they mean something different? Some scholars said they mean the same thing. And some scholars, like Al-Raghib al-Asfahani, said tafsir is for particular words, and ta'wil is for sentences and concepts. So according to that, if we want to zero in on what Al-Raghib al-Asbahani said, what does it mean? Kabiruhum, qala kabiruhum. Where's the ayah? That ayah is from ayah 80. Let's start from there, and I'll make my point for you. The author says, starting with the word of Allah Ta'ala, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فلما استيئسوا منه خلصوا نجيا. When they despaired from him, when they were hopeless of getting their brother back from Yusuf, when they had no hope to talk Yusuf into giving their brother back to them, they secluded themselves for private conversation. Yani, they stepped to the side and they huddled up. With the meaning of, when I say they huddled up, I mean they had a private conversation. That's all I mean. قال كبيرهم ألم تعلموا أن أباكم قد أخذ عليكم موثقا من الله. Their senior said, قال كبيرهم. Kabir means big. So kabiruhum, the biggest of them, the big one amongst them. So what did Al-Raghib al-Asfahani say is the meaning of tafsir as opposed to ta'wil? He said tafsir targets specific words. So then, according to that, we can ask, what is the tafsir of kabiruhum? Not the translation, not how you translate it. The biggest of them said, or the big one among them said, or their senior said. Rather, what is the tafsir of the word? What does kabiruhum mean? So it could be, maybe the tafsir, it could be that the tafsir of kabiruhum means the oldest of them. Or it could mean the leader amongst them, which not necessarily the older one. Could be the one who's most savvy amongst them, with one who has most charisma amongst them, and even the older one listens to him. Or could mean the smartest one of them, or most knowledgeable of them. That was Yahuda, Judah. That's the tafsir of kabiruhum. It could be this one or that one or this one. And when I say it could be, maybe it's this one, maybe it's that one. That's what the scholars of tafsir would do. Because what were they doing? The scholars of tafsir, interpretation of the Quran, they were deciphering the Quran. So they would say this word here, it could mean this, or it could mean like this, or it could mean like this. If this pronoun goes back to this, then it means this. But if this pronoun goes back to that, then it means that. They were deciphering the Quran. So their senior said, what does their senior mean? I just told you what are its possible tafasir, its possible interpretations. What did he say to them? أَلَمْ تَعْلَمُوا أَنَّ أَبَاكُمْ قَدْ أَخَذَ عَلَيْكُمْ مَوْثِقًا مِّنَ اللَّهِ. Do you not realize that your father took from you a solemn covenant with Allah? Yani, you made a promise to God with your father to bring your brother Binyamin back. Don't you know that? Alam ta'lamu, don't you know? Yeah, he knows they know. وَمِن قَبْلُ مَا فَرَّطْتُمْ فِي يُوسُفَ. And previously you were negligent about Yusuf. And two things here. فَلَنْ أَبْرَحَ الْأَرْضَ حَتَّى يَأْذَنَ لِي أَبِي. So I will not leave this land until my father permits me. أَوْ يَحْكُمَ اللَّهُ لِي. Or Allah so judges for me to leave this land. What's the ta'wil there of أَوْ يَحْكُمَ اللَّهُ لِي? Al-Raghib al-Asbahani, he said, ta'wil is for sentences and concepts. He said tafsir is for single words and ta'wil is for like phrases, sentences, and concepts, meanings. And I'll repeat for you. Some scholars said they mean the same thing. Ta'wil and tafsir, they mean the same thing. What's the ta'wil of this? أَوْ يَحْكُمَ اللَّهُ لِي. Or Allah so judges for me. So it could be that it means by my brother being released. Or Allah so judges for me by my death. Yani, that's I will depart this place by dying. Or he means, or by Allah willing for me to leave. Or he means by fighting these people. وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الْحَاكِمِينَ. And he is the best of judges, the fairest of judges. So that senior of them, he continued to say, he told his brothers, ارجعوا إلى أبيكم فقولوا يا أبانا إن ابنك سرق. Return to your father and say, O father of ours, surely your son stole. Yani, that's why we didn't bring him back. وَمَا شَهِدْنَا إِلَّا بِمَا عَلِمْنَا. And we did not testify against him except to what we have surely known, because of the vessel being drawn from his luggage. And yani, so here we took a lesson here. They thought that that vessel being pulled out of his luggage was a definitive evidence of his guilt, while it wasn't. Just seemed to be so. But it wasn't. So we're going to stick to the rules of the religion for verifying things. You verify things according to the rules of the religion. If something's not verified according to the religious standards, then deem it unverified. وَمَا كُنَّا لِلْغَيْبِ حَافِظِينَ. He told them, tell your father, when we made our pact, we were not aware of the unseen, or else we would not have done so. Yani, we didn't know this was going to happen, father. وَاسْأَلِ الْقَرْيَةَ الَّتِي كُنَّا فِيهَا. And send word to ask the people of the town where we were. وَالْعِيرَ الَّتِي أَقْبَلْنَا فِيهَا. And ask the caravan that we came with. Perhaps you know this reference here. وَاسْأَلِ الْقَرْيَةَ. I wonder, can anyone tell me what we cite this for? May Allah answer the dua of the one who answers this question. Why do we cite this ayah? وَاسْأَلِ الْقَرْيَةَ. I'll give you a 10 count. 10, 9, 8. I'm going fast. 7. You said proof that there is majaz in the Quran. Okay. May Allah answer your dua, but I'm looking for something a little more specific here. If you want, you can tell me what kind of majaz it is. That will satisfy me. Or you can tell me in what case do we cite this ayah? What issue we bring this ayah for? Omission. Okay. True. May Allah answer your dua. Hadithul Nuzul. Correct. May Allah Ta'ala grant you 3 accepted du'as. Ameen. The Hadith of Nuzul. What's here? Was'alil Qarya. Ask the village. Qarya means, in a literal sense, village. We have translated here as town. It was a town. A town, by the way, religiously speaking here, what the scholars mentioned is that the city or the town is a place that has a mayor and a judge and a marketplace. A mayor and a judge and a marketplace. And a village is less than that. They were in a city, a town, but they called it a qarya, a village, as if they said, ask the village. But it's not just a village, it's more than a village. What might come to your mind from village. So ask the town. What does it mean, ask the town? Go ask the houses, ask the cobblestones, ask the well. No, it means ask, as we have here, ask the people of the town. So the mentioning of the people is implied. It's not stated. Ask the village, ask the town, means ask the people of the town. You might say something like that. Go ask the block, means go ask anyone on the block, ask the people on the block. Go tell the house, means go tell the people in the house, for example. So you talk like that, that's normal. In the hadith of Nuzul, Yanzilu Rabbuna, looks like it says our Lord comes down, but it really means the angel of our Lord comes down. Yanzilu Malaku Rabbina, the angel of our Lord comes down. There's an omission in there, Hadful Mudaf. I won't go further there, so we can stick to the tafsir here. Was'alil Qarya. So he continued to tell them, say this to Father. واسأل القرية التي كنا فيها والعير التي أقبلنا فيها. And send word to ask the people of the town where we were, and ask the caravan that we came with. وَإِنَّا لَصَادِقُونَ. Genuinely, we are surely truthful. Now they need him to believe them. He doesn't believe them. That's what happens when you're a liar. May Allah make us truthful. Ameen. You're going to be mindful of being a liar, and you're going to be mindful also of wordplay. You're going to be mindful of your wordplay and your puns so that you are on purpose giving people the wrong impression when you talk. Without lying, though. You're not lying technically, but you're giving someone a false impression. And what's even more is that some people, they do that without realizing that because they're so used to it. They talk in a way to make you think something. And They give you false impression about things. They're so used to doing it that they might not realize they do it anymore, if they ever did realize it. So anyway, now they are begging him. Wa inna lasadiqun. Genuinely, we are surely truthful. Believe us, O Father. So that's what their senior told them to say to their father, and that's what they said to their father. But the surah here doesn't say, and so they went back to their father and told him that. So, but it's understood that they did go back and say to their father all of what their brother told them to say. That's understood from Allah telling us Yaqub's response without telling us. And so they went back to their father and said what their brother told them to say. قال بل سولت لكم أنفسكم أمرا. He said, Jacob that is, their father said, rather than what you claim, yourselves have beautified for you perpetrating something against your brother. You did something against your brother that you wanted to do. And it was reported that Yaqub said to them, who told them about our religious rule? There's only one way they're going to know about our religious rule. That's if you told them. Who told them? And who was the one who told them? They told them. So Yaqub said, you did something that you wanted to do. فَصَبِرٌ جَمِيلٌ. Graceful patience is my patience. I shall be gracefully patient. عَسَى اللَّهُ أَن يَأْتِيَنِي بِهِمْ جَمِيعًا. Perhaps Allah will bring all three of my sons back to me. Because now he's missing three sons. Alayhi salatu wassalam. And this means he does not believe that Yusuf perished. إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْعَلِيمُ الْحَكِيمُ. Surely he is Al-Alim Al-Hakim. Allah is Al-Alim Al-Hakim, knower of my sadness and wise about my calamities. وَتَوَلَّى عَنْهُمْ. And he turned away from them and he stopped speaking to them. وَقَالَ يَا أَسَفَا عَلَى يُوسُف. And he said, oh, my grief over Joseph. As if he's saying, woe is me for Joseph. وَبِيَضَّتْ عَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْحُزْنِ وَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. And his eyes went murky white. Not pure white, murky. His eyes went white means his eyes went murky. Not just pure white. Meaning his pupils faded because of crying from sadness. He wouldn't stop crying. It was said that he went completely blind, and it was said that he could faintly see. That's according to An-Nasafi. فَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. And he was furious with his sons, but suppressing his distress. قَالُوا تَاللَّهِ تَفْتَأُ تَذْكُرُ يُوسُفَ. They swore with astonishment. Now, Tallahi is swearing with astonishment, amazement. It's like saying Wallahi, but it's more like astonishment. Tallahi. Qalu tallah. They swore with astonishment. By God. Tafta'u tadhkuru Yusuf. You will not stop recalling Joseph. حتى تكون حرضا أو تكون من الهالكين. You won't stop recalling Joseph until you are on the verge of death, or you become among the deceased. Yani, you're gonna be a crippled old man. And what is this here? This is hard-heartedness here. This is lack of empathy. They don't sympathize with him. They don't sympathize with him. They don't feel bad for him for his sadness here, which is not a good thing. Because the friend is sad for your sadness. The friend is happy for your happiness, and he's sad for your sadness. And like we mentioned, why did he mention Yusuf here? He has 3 missing sons now. Why he said, Ya asafa ala Yusuf? Because his wound, it never healed. His wound over losing Yusuf never healed. And it is reopened more now. So that's what he said out of his grief, his grieving. Ya asafa ala Yusuf وابيضت عيناه من الحزن وهو كظيم. And his eyes went white from sadness, and he was suppressing. قالوا تالله تفتأ تذكر يوسف حتى تكون حرضا أو تكون من الهالكين. قال إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله. He said, I only vent my complaint and sadness to Allah. And that's how some of the pious ones are. They don't complain to anyone but Allah. May Allah let us take from their example. Yani, do you have a complaint? Is there something that bothers you? You want to complain about something? And some people, they don't have anything but a complaint. Nothing come out their mouth but complaint to anyone. And at the slightest thing, anything will bother them. MashaAllah, that's how a lot of people are. But among the slaves of Allah are those who they only express their complaints to Allah Ta'ala. قال إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله. إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله. He said, I only vent my complaint and sadness to Allah. وَأَعْلَمُ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And I know from Allah that which you know not. I know from Allah that which you know not, that Joseph's dream is true and that he is alive. And it was mentioned that Yaqub alayhi salatu wassalam saw a dream, that he saw the angel of death in his dream. Yeah, it's a good quality to complain to Allah only. Ya Allah, I suffer from this. Ya Allah, help me. Ya Allah, Fulan oppresses me. No problem here. And not to say that to the people. So it was said that Yaqub alayhi salatu wassalam, he saw the angel of death in his dream. And he said to the angel of death, did you take Yusuf's soul? And so the angel of death said, Wallahi, no. By God, no, I never took Yusuf's soul. He is alive. Look for him. So what did Yaqub say to his sons? Ya bani idhabu fatahassasu min Yusuf wa akhi. Oh my sons, Go and find out about Joseph and his brother. وَلَا تَيْأَسُوا مِنْ رَوْحِ اللَّهِ, and despair not from the mercy of Allah. Yani, don't be hopeless. إِنَّهُ لَا يَيْأَسُ مِنْ رَوْحِ اللَّهِ إِلَّا الْقَوْمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. Surely, none despairs from the mercy of Allah except the disbelieving folk. فَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ قالوا يا أيها العزيز مسنا وأهلنا الضر. So when they entered where Joseph was, they said, "O Aziz, adversity, the adversity of the famine, the hunger and the malnourishment has touched us and our family. Yani, we are suffering. وَجِئْنَا بِبِضَاعَةٍ مُزْجَاةٍ فَأَوْفِ لَنَا الْكَيْلَ. And we have come to you with rejected merchandise, so give us full measure. وَتَصَدَّقْ عَلَيْنَا, and give us our brother as a charity. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَجْزِي الْمُتَصَدِّقِينَ. Surely Allah rewards the charitable, yani those who are charitable. We have come to you with rejected merchandise. Yani, when they entered in on him, they said, out of seeking sympathy, devastation and famine have made us poor and needy and skinny. We have come to you with merchandise refused by every merchant. It was said that their money was practically worthless, an inferior currency that would only be accepted with a deposit. It was also said that their merchandise was wool and shortening. Yani, they were poor. They requested full measure despite the inferiority of their money. So that's what I have for the tafsir of this. But I just find it interesting that their first request was another load, not their brother. I didn't see anything in the tafsirs about that. So when they said that they and their family are starving, and they pleaded with him, and he saw the poverty that befell them, his eyes overflowed. And those prophets, they are soft-hearted. And also, those good Muslims, they are soft-hearted. Even if they're tough. Umar ibn al-Khattab, even, as tough as he was soft-hearted. And he could not hold himself back from exposing his true identity to them, Yusuf alayhi salatu wassalam. Yani, it was time to expose his identity to them. قال هل قال هل علمتم ما فعلتم بيوسف وأخيه هل علمتم ما فعلتم بيوسف وأخيه إذ أنتم جاهلون. He said, in scolding them, do you know what you have done to Joseph and his brother? Do you know what you have done to Joseph of abuse and selling, yani trafficking? Do you know about how you trafficked Joseph and what you did to his brother by separating him from Joseph and other ill treatment? إِذْ أَنْتُمْ جَاهِلُونَ. When you were ignorant, meaning when you were foolish and reckless, is another example of tafsir, according to the definition of Ar-Raghib al-Asfahani. What does ignorant mean here? If antum jahilun, when you were jahilun, sufaha, when you were foolish and reckless. Yani, originally, ignorant means lacking knowledge. Does he mean here when you didn't have knowledge? Not according to this tafsir. According to this tafsir means when you were foolish and reckless. Or it could mean ignorant though. Then it would mean when you were ignorant about the outcome, when you were ignorant about what would result from your actions. So he said to them what no one would know but Yusuf. قالوا أئنك لأنت يوسف. In seeking confirmation, they said, is it truly you? Are you indeed Joseph? أئنك لأنت يوسف. This ayah is one of my favorite things in the Quran here. So profound. Look how brief this is, how small this is. أئنك لأنت يوسف. Yani, what's here? Inna. Inna is for emphasis. Like, it means verily, surely. Well, that's how it would translate. That's for emphasis. And this lamb, la anta, it's for emphasis too. That's two emphasizers. Then, this calf means you. And the word anta, it means you. That's emphasis too. Innaka la anta. Yusuf and anta, that's definite. That's a subject that's definite. Yusuf, that's a predicate that's definite. When the subject is definite and the predicate is definite, this is emphatic too. These brothers are mind blown here. Innaka la anta Yusuf, and that's expressed in such few words. Is it you? You are Yusuf? And then he said triumphantly, قال أنا يوسف وهذا أخي. He said, I am Joseph, and this is my brother, Binyamin. قد من الله علينا. Allah has endowed upon us by reuniting us. إنه من يتق ويصبر فإن الله لا يضيع أجر المحسنين. Surely, whoever has piety and is patient with affliction, then indeed Allah does not squander the reward of the God-fearing, patient good doers. Ya Allah. Yani, look how Allah turned that whole situation around. Yusuf was a victim of his brothers. And also, his brother was a victim, which we know just by the statements. Like when Yusuf said, هل علمتم هل علمتم ما فعلتم بيوسف وأخيه? Do you know what you did to Yusuf and his brother? Also, what did Yusuf say? قال إني أنا أخوك فلا تبتئس بما كانوا يعملون. He said, surely it is I am your brother, so fret not about what they used to do to us. So look how Allah turned that whole situation around. Yusuf and Binyamin were victims of their brothers. Then Allah Ta'ala, He made Yusuf the victor over them. He gave Yusuf the advantage over them. The tables are turned, as they say. And Yusuf says, surely whoever has God-fearingness and is patient, then indeed Allah does not squander the reward of the good doers. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Very inspiring for me, I hope for you also, to obey Allah Ta'ala in the times of adversity, in the times of oppression and the like. Insha'Allah, by the will of Allah, the tables will turn for you too. You'll find yourself in the position like how Yusuf found himself in a position of advantage over his brothers after they were wronging him and his brother. قالوا تالله لقد آثرك الله قالوا تالله لقد آثرك الله علينا. They said, swearing with astonishment, by God, tallahi, لقد آثرك الله علينا. Allah has given you preference over us. Allah has favored you over us. Yani, the case is so evident that they have to confess to it. وَإِن كُنَّا وَإِن كُنَّا لَخَاطِئِينَ. And surely, we were certainly deliberate sinners. So Allah made us subservient to you. SubhanAllah. It's going to happen. May Allah protect you and protect me and grant us the proper behavior in times of adversity. قال لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. Since it was thought that that day would be the day for them to be punished for what they did, he said, there shall be no blame on you today. Yani, you shall not be punished. Yani, Yusuf, he had the authority and the means to punish them, but he did not punish them. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Ya Allah. Yaghfirullahu lakum. Yusuf said, may Allah forgive you. Wa huwa arhamur rahimin. And he is most merciful of the merciful. Shaykh Abdullah, he said in his commentary on the Tafsir of An-Nasafi, it is not appropriate that Yusuf saying, may Allah forgive you, is a supplication for them to be forgiven for their previous transgression. The meaning is, may Allah forgive you by guiding you to Islam. This is because they insulted their father, the Prophet of Allah, by saying, you are still on your old misguidance. This is blasphemy. Or he said, after he made them re-embrace Islam, may Allah forgive you, meaning for the sins that will occur from you in the future. What the Shaykh is saying is, this dua of Yusuf, may Allah forgive you, is not a dua for forgiveness that has no regard for them committing blasphemy. There is a regard for them committing blasphemy, and therefore the way to explain his seeking forgiveness for them is that either he meant, may Allah guide you to embrace Islam, or he meant, now that you have re-embraced Islam, may Allah forgive you for whatever may come from you. The Shaykh said the asbab are not those brothers. Rather, they are the progeny. They are their progeny who came after Moses. Progeny of those brothers. Who came after Moses. Interesting. I don't know if there's a prophet between Yusuf and Moses. Alayhim as-salatu was-salam. What I know is that the children of Israel were upon the law of Yusuf until Moses came. And by the time Moses came, they were just holding on to whatever they had left of the law of Yusuf. And by the time Moses came, as you know, the Pharaoh had already come and enslaved them. He had demolished their masajid. They didn't have any masjids. Subhanallah. Their situation was tough. So then what happened? Tune in next week, inshallah ta'ala. Any questions? Someone has a question out of the class. Is it permissible to rent with a landlord who has a haram job if he owns an apartment that he is renting out and the person needs an apartment? There is no necessary link between his having an apartment and having a haram job. The one who is renting, who wants to rent the apartment, he doesn't have to make a link between those two things. And it's not his obligation to find out if one of those has anything to do with the other. And therefore, he can do so. He can rent the apartment from a guy who has a haram job. Having haram job doesn't mean that the apartment is haram.
Sheikh,
Yes.
what was his name?
Yaqub.
How many number of wives did Yaqub have?
Yaqub had 2 wives, but he had also 2 slave women. So he had 4 women, 2 wives and 2 slave women, and his wives were sisters, which was lawful in his law.
Wait, which wives were sisters?
His wives were sisters. He had 2 wives and he had 2 slave women, and his wives were sisters, which was lawful in the law of Jacob. Question, can you explain why the brothers committed kufr again? Yes, because they disrespected their father in simple terms. They knew he was a prophet, and they said about him, Inna abana lafi dalalim mubin. Surely our father is in plain error or straying. Dalal means being lost. It's as if they said, surely this prophet is lost. That's blasphemy. And they said another time, Innaka lafi dalalikal qadim. You're still lost. You're still in your old loss. As if they're saying, you prophet, you're still lost, you prophet. This is blasphemy. And what proves that they didn't respect their father, though they knew he was a prophet, was that Yaqub said to them, Lawla an tufannidun. You would believe me had you not deemed me senile. That's coming next week, probably, inshallah. That statement. Yeah, no, they returned back to Islam. They did return back to Islam. They repented. Can I repeat the story about his aunt who had Yusuf, how she tried to keep him? Yes. So it was said that Ibrahim had a piece of clothing to be inherited by his oldest children. And I'll repeat here too. What does this mean? What's the authenticity of this? Because the money of prophets is not inherited. The money of prophets, like clothing is money, is not inherited. So what does it mean that Ibrahim had a piece of clothing to be inherited? Does this have a ta'wil? Does this meaning or concept here, does this sentence have some interpretation, explanation, a ta'wil? So I don't know. And is it authentic? I don't know. So it says, Ishaq inherited it. Then it went to his oldest daughter, to Ishaq's oldest daughter, who was Yusuf's aunt. Ishaq's daughter is Yusuf's aunt. Ishaq is Yusuf's father. So, I'm sorry. I got my names mixed up there.
Yeah.
Yaqub. Sorry. So Ishaq inherited, then it went to his oldest daughter. It went to Ishaq's oldest daughter. I was thinking Yusuf is Yaqub, who is Yusuf's aunt, because Ishaq's oldest daughter is going to be Yaqub's sister. Yaqub is Yusuf's father, and so the sister of your father is your aunt. So Ishaq inherited it according to this. Then it went to his oldest daughter, that's the sister of Yaqub, who is Yusuf's aunt. She used to have custody of Yusuf after the death of his mother, according to saying that his mother had passed away. There's 2 sayings about that she had passed away, and there's a saying that she survived all the way until what we are reading now. Because you're gonna see in the end of the surah, رَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. He put his abawahu, very literally, his two parents. He put them upon the throne. But if you take the saying that his mother passed away, then abawahu has a tafsir. This word has a tafsir, has a way to explain it. MashaAllah. May Allah reward Al-Raghib Al-Asbahani. That one statement of his is very, very beneficial for what we are involved in. So it was said that she used to have custody of Yusuf after the death of his mother, and that she could not bear to be away from him. And he's so lovable. When Yusuf got older, his father wanted to take him. So she went and strapped that cloth to Yusuf. She said, I lost Ishaq's cloth. Look and see who took it. They looked and found it strapped to Yusuf. She said, he is to be handed over to me. I shall do with him as I please. So Yaqub let her keep him until she died. And Allah knows the authenticity of this story. You can follow up with that if you want to. Any last questions?
Sheikh,
Yes.
what were the names of the wives of Yaqub?
One of them is Rahil, Rachel. And the other one is Leah. Leah. So Leah and Rachel.
What about the slave woman?
Does someone have the names of the slave women handy? Let me see.
Why is this old boy worried about people having any names?
Yani, for the love of knowledge. Their names are available. Here, let me get them for you here.
I'll just take it next time.
Okay, well, give me 1 second here. I know where that's supposed to be. Hold on a second here. Should be right around here. It's not in this file. It's in the other file. Okay, so next time then. Barakallahu feekum. Remind me, inshallah.
I will. Wafiq.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك